Let's start. Let me share my screen. Okay. Before starting today's class, let's have a quick recap for today, yesterday's class. So, anyone attended yesterday's class? So, what we discussed yesterday? Anyone? You can hear me, right? Hello.
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. So, anyone attended yesterday's class?
Yeah, we discussed about what is data.
Okay. What is data? So let me have a quick recap. So one who has not attended yesterday's class, they can have some idea. So we discussed what is data first, then we saw how data is important for any business. Okay, how it is important, we saw that. Then we took an example of restaurant and we set up a restaurant and we saw how data plays an important role in expanding their business. We saw what is the importance of cloud. Okay, how cloud helps for any business when they expand their business, when they have a lot of data, how they can easily manage with help of cloud. We saw that. We saw various features of cloud, that is scalability, centralized data management, cost efficiency, how to automate and speed your process, disaster recovery, what do you mean by remote access. We saw all these things. Okay, then we saw how data is generated. Okay, how data is generated in day-to-day activity of any person. We saw that. Now once this data is generated, we also saw how company is making use of your data. Okay, till now we have discussed. Any doubt do you have till now? So let's go to slide and okay. We saw that how Google is making use of our data and why it is called the king of ads or data. We saw that how Amazon will make use of data and give recommendation based on that. We saw all these things. Okay, now till now we have seen that how data is populated, why companies are behind the data, and how much data is important for each and every company. Because if these are the data that makes them billions. Okay, we have seen this. Now next is why data engineers are required, why they are called as a superheroes. Okay, I like to term term the data engineers as superheroes. Why? Okay, let's take a simple examples and try to understand what would happen if there are no data engineers who involved in building a good pipeline and maintaining that good data. So what usually used to happen? Let's take a simple examples and let's try to understand this. So have you ever seen these videos or anything? They say that I have ordered an iPhone and I got something called as a soap. I got something called as onions, brinjal. Have you ever seen these funny things?
Yeah, we have.
So just imagine whenever you go to your Amazon and you try to buy any item. For example, you try to click and buy a T-shirt, but instead of that, you see something that is a toothpaste or brinjal or any other item. So what it happens? It's why it is happening like that, because behind the data is not mapped correctly to the particular item, and that's the reason you are able to see this. When this happens, how you feel? You lose the confidence on top of that particular application or company. So you'll be not going ahead and buying that particular products, right? Why it is going to happen is mainly due to the data is not maintained correctly and it is not mapped. Okay, so data engineers are the one who ensures the product data that is correctly mapped. And whenever you click on that particular item, you get the information of a particular item only. Okay. For now, taking with an example of you take a food delivery app. Okay. Now, have you ever experienced this whenever you order a food, right? In Zomato or Swiggy? and it says your order will be delivered in 5 minutes, but you wait for 30 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, still you don't get the any information about that order. Have you ever faced this issue?
Yeah, we faced.
Okay, so what happens is, see, now whenever you try to reach out the support people and say, I have not received this order, why it's happening, and they connect with the restaurant and say, we have not at all received your orders with us to prepare that particular order. Now, why this might have happened? There might be some issues in tracking the system, and data engineers are the one who have to build a good successful pipeline so that they can track the system and companies can have all the information at the real go. Okay, so that's the reason the data engineers are called as superheroes, because they come and they make sure that the business is running smoothly. Okay, now I would like to take one more example with Uber. Okay, now whenever you book a Uber, now you try Ola or Uber, you try to book, say suppose it's a very sunny day outside, and you thought, okay, let's book a car. We need to go from destination A to B, and I need a AC car, and let me book a car. And you book a car, and you see that instead of car, you get an auto rickshaw. Will you be happy if you get that? Are you going to? Are you think, okay, anyhow, I got a vehicle. I need to move from A to B. Let's go, and I will pay the same amount which I'm going to pay for car. We are not going to do that. Why it happens? Whenever you click a particular item in Uber or Ola, if that is not mapped for, correctly, and if any vehicle is coming another than the what you have selected, that is a bad data pipeline design that has happened. Okay. Now, whenever you book a car in Ola or Uber and you just give a OTP to the driver and you don't say this is the destination I want to go, he knows where you need to go. He has a GPS tracking where it says this particular person need to go from A to B, and he follows that GPS. Now, just imagine if he is having the wrong location. Instead of going to point Y, it is showing to point Z. Then will you be sorry? Will you feel safer to go in that particular vehicle? You are not going to feel safe, right? So how this is managing? It is being managed by data engineers who make sure that all the information that is given by the customer in Ola or Uber is intact, and driver needs to follow that particular location where he need to drop the particular customer. Okay. Now, when you usually use Netflix, right, for watching any movies or action movies. Now, whenever you go and click a particular action movie, and instead of that action movie, if you get any animation movie or any food cooking documentary, will you be happy? Now it says in the logo or anything, whenever you try to click on before that, it says it's a particular action movie, for example John Wick, but it's diverting it to you to the some other content, right? So data engineers are the one who make sure whatever you want, that you are going to get. So they build a pipeline in such a way, whatever in Netflix you go and click, that particular movie is only access to you. So data engineers are the one who make sure to have this thing. Now, let's see banks. Okay. Now, in banks, you usually go to ATM and you withdraw. Suppose you have a 10,000 rupees in your account and you withdraw 200 rupees. Now you get a message from bank saying you have an account balance of 1 crore rupees. What you will do? Anyone? So if you get an account balance of 1 crore rupees, you feel like, okay, I got a money, I can take that money and I can just close that account. They, but bank doesn't allow that. If any by mistake that transaction has happened, bank make sure that they freeze your account and you have made no such transaction. Now, who is going to do that? Data engineers are the one who make sure that your transaction are intact and they are not any misplace and in the transaction and the money is not being diverted to some other account. The data engineers do make that these things. Okay. Now we have seen this according to a company. We have seen what all things you can do as a data engineer. Now let's move ahead. Now we saw so much of things about data. What is data? What we are doing as a data? Why? How data is populated? How cloud? Everything we have seen. Why for company? Why data is so important and how data engineers are helping each and every company. Now, what exactly data engineers are going to do? Okay, we are going to see that with a simple example, and we'll see without data engineers how data analysts and data scientists work would have been. Okay, we'll see that. So let me open a simple document. Okay. Now, anyone who is very new to data field, they don't know what does data analyst means, what is data scientist, what they do. Anyone in the batch?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Let me briefly explain. So consider you have these are the, okay, let me quickly draw that. Okay, these are the different sources. Now there might be some people who don't know what is source, what is database, what is servers, what is files, what is CSV file. Some people might be there who might not be knowing those things. So what we'll consider, we just consider these as sources. We'll say this is a source one, this is a source two, this is a source three, and this is a source one. Now, what these sources are doing, they are collecting your data. This is a point of contact where all your data is stored. Okay, you have whenever you click a particular item. Now we discussed, right? You are browsing anything, you are populating data, and that data is coming in from this particular source. We'll try to understand this. Okay. Now there are two particular peoples in any typical in data engineering or data related projects. There will be three particular typical peoples. Okay. Now let's consider that. Okay, let me take this. Okay. Now let me take this as data analyst. Okay. Okay. He is a data analyst. Okay. Now let me take another person and say he is a data scientist. Okay. Now we have for every company there will be a person, right, who is a CEO of the company. Okay. Let me take another. Now he's a CEO of the company. Now, have you ever saw this episode Shark Tank? Anyone?
Yes.
So what does usually in that episode what they show?
The storytelling about the business or idea. He has to pitch for the some couple of minutes, and based
Okay.
on that, the
So
investor.
why now? Sorry, I'm not able to hear you. Okay.
Yeah,
Anyhow.
basically, any like startup people, they can go and give the pitch actually.
Okay. So let me briefly explain that. So thank you for answering that. So what happens is we have an episode something called a Shark Tank. So in that, what does any business or any CEO or a founder of a company, they go with a venture capital. Capitals are the one who invest in their business. Okay. Now they go there and they showcase their product, they showcase their sales, they say year to year, month to month, what are their sales and what their future predictions are. So which product they are going to launch and what their plans for the future. So based on their pitch, the company see if any venture capital see if the company has a potential, they're going to invest on top of that company and they are going to help that particular founder to grow their business in further. Because the more money they have, more expansion they can do, more things they can explore. Okay. So now imagine you are a CEO of the company. Now you have to go to the Shark Tank and you need to pitch. Now you have an e-commerce business where you have information, you are selling a particular product and you need to pitch in the Shark Tank. Okay. Now you go to a person called as a data analyst and say, no, I have a data stored in different sources. I need to pitch to my venture capital. Please give information about my sales, what are the year to year sales, everything month to month sales, which are the products that are highly selling, all the information I need to give that, and I need to showcase that as a form of report. Now, data analysts are the person who works on your past data. Okay, they go back, they make use of all the data that is available. They see all the information and they fetch that information and they try to build the dashboard. Dashboard is nothing but a report in a particular tool called as a Power BI or a Tableau. So where they build these colorful reports, now when that particular report is built, what they will do, that particular the business whichever is there, they make use of that dashboard and they track their business. Okay, now they don't need to go and check each sources, right? As a business, your main idea, main attention will be to grow your business, not to do all this tracking how it is going. You just need a number, what went wrong in past and what I need to improve to build. Okay, now data analyst comes into the picture who helps any business at that time. Okay, now you as a CEO, when you have this particular report or dashboard, you can just showcase that to the venture capital or the one who need to get a investment and say, this is how my business is doing, this is the growth of my business, these are all things, and then on top of that you can demand the investment in your company. Now this is what mainly the data analyst people are going to do. Now second, what does the data scientist do? Have you ever thought why they have called scientists? Anyone? What scientists do usually?
Scientists, they do for normally R&D, it's a predictions actually. So
Mhm.
they do the predictions, forecastings. Okay, what the future business would be based on some previous data. They will just come up with a future business. Yeah, they will. That's what scientists they'll do.
Yeah, exactly. So now, whatever is the past, about the past, you need to understand. You will go to the person called as a data analyst, and whatever the future of your business you want to predict, you want to analyze your forecast, you go to the person called as a data scientist. Now, what does data scientist does? He takes the information of all the data. He will fetch all the data whichever is available. On top of that, he will build a models. Okay, he build a models. He train that model saying that suppose these many sales happen for this particular month. This should be the trend that should be happening in coming days, coming months. He'll make sure that he need to make sure all these things and the company have that idea where they can pitch in front of any venture capital or the investor saying that, see, past is this is my growth, how it's happening, and according to me, this is what I'm predicting in the future. If I do this, this is a particular thing will help my business and it help me to grow my business. The data scientist is a person who comes and helps the business. Okay. Now, to do both of them, what they need, if any data analyst, they need to build the report, they need something called as a data. To build any future prediction, they need something called the data. And to do that, they need to go and do what? Fetch the information from the source. Now imagine, okay, now you are CEO and you go and say you're data analyst and data scientist guy, 1 week I need to go and fetch, I need to pitch this particular investment. Please do all these things in a 1 month and give me all the information which you are going to get from all the sources. Now imagine if you are a data analyst and you need to build a Power BI or any dashboard report, and you have a multiple source. Now, in the source one, there might be a customer information. In the source two, there might be a product information. In source three, there might be a delivery or payment kind of information. And in the source four, there might be information about any customer reports or supporting. Whatever the support you provide a customer whenever he's facing issue, all that information might be there in the source four. Now, if you want to build any particular report for particular product, what's the year-to-year sale, you have to come, you have to connect to the source one, and again you have to connect to the source two. Now, since he have the sources, now he has connected, but again he can't directly go and showcase that in a report. You have to again merge this information and make one intact table or one intact entity on top of which you have to build. Now, again, what happens is, now this is one of the biggest problem, right? We have multiple sources and he's going and fetching all the information. And if there is any small change in particular source, you have to rework from the start. Okay, that's a very big problem, headache for a data analyst. Now, whereas a data scientist, he need to predict, right? Now, again, for him, the same issue. He need to go to the multiple sources and he need to fetch that information. Now, he's fetching for there might be a particular product there. There might be a report, and the customer support team has worked on that. Now, he can't directly go with the source one and source three. Now, again, he has to go to the source four and fetch that information. Now CEO comes and say, no, I don't want this. I want another use case which I need to showcase. Now again, he has to go and rework from scratch. Now, do you think this is an easy task to do? As a data analyst, if you're a data analyst and data scientist and you have only 1 week to do, is it an easy task to do? Anyone? Let's say issues we face, okay, in collecting in data, okay, as a role. Now we are talking as with respect to role. Now till now we have talked about business. Now we are talking with respect to role. Now first is multiple sources. We have a multiple sources. Now he's having an issue. Now second issue that might be having is there is an inconsistency in data. Now for example, you are doing sales and you are selling your particular product in US, you are selling your particular product in Europe, and the payment is made in form of US dollars and euros, and you are generating a report. Now you don't know that information. If you generate that particular report as a data analyst, that will be a blunder because you are not showing your correct report. There might be an increase in sales or percent of 10%, but you're not converting this. And instead of that, now what happened? You have shown your business has in loss of 10%. That's really bad impact in your business also, right? Now, that is the issue. Another we have, if we have what you can say, impact inconsistency. Okay. Inconsistent data. If you have inconsistent data, again, we have this issue. Now, has the data scientist again, if you have different types of date, okay, date format. For example, we have that YYY MMDD for something. We have YYY DD and MM for some particular items. Now, it's very difficult for a data scientist also to build a model to check a particular day or a month how the business is doing, to analyze that, to build his future prediction. It's very difficult for him as well. Now, next issue that can happen is duplicate records. Okay. Now, there might be a situation where a person may write has John D, he can write, or Donald John. He can write in different way, right? He can, the first name and last name, he might enter ordering in the first order, and in the next order, he can come and say last name and first name. Now, these both are same person. He's having same information over phone number, address, everything is same. But now when you go as a data analyst and data scientist and fetch this information, you get a very bad data. And again, it will mess up your reports or models which you are trying to build. Now, again, there is an impact on the due to duplicate records. Now, next issue you can have is missing data. Okay. There might be some issues and you might miss particular data for particular number of days, and you're trying to build a top of report on top of that. You might not get a correct report, and data scientist also, if they are trying to predict something and the data is itself missing, how they can predict, how they can train their model where they can have a good prediction about the future. Okay, that's another issue you might have, where if you're trying to directly take the data from the sources. These are the issues. Now let's see what all other issues. Now you might have another issue, that slow performance. Okay. Now what happening is you are going and connecting multiple sources and you're merging and you're doing these reports or models, right? Now again and again you're joining tables, and on top of that you are building all things, and it is taking a lot of time to fetch the information. Now, for example, you went to Shark Tank as a CEO and you're fetching and you're showing 1 week back data, and he says, no, I want a up-to-date data, and you want from yesterday's whatever the data is there, you fetch me and you show me instantly, and it's taking 2 hours to fetch that information. See how bad impact of performance will be, and even as a CEO or any person, he will be in blank how to report to that particular venture capital or anything for the investments. Okay, another issue is slow performance. Now, next issue that you might have is something called as old data. Now, what you can have, yeah, old data. In old data, there might be something where you have a 10 to 15 years of data, but you need a recent data that should be shown. Okay. Now there is no certain particular use case here where you in the source where you can identify this data, and again you're going fetching all the data, but you need only data for 1 month. But at your source, you are having this data for years of years. Now, again, it will slow your performance as well. And it's a lot of work that a data analyst and data scientist people should do to build their report or models. Okay. Now, next is you might have different types of data, right? Different types of data. Okay. You might have structured data, you might have unstructured data. Structured data are nothing but in form of tables where we can directly read, whereas unstructured data might be some file text, WhatsApp message, any reports you do in a chat. These all things are there. Now, it will be very difficult for a data analyst and data scientist to go and fetch this information and make a valuable report. Okay, now this is another issue. Next might be security issue. Okay, now as a company, you need to make sure that your whoever will access the data, that should be a secure. You should make sure that you are not exposing your information about the customer also, because as a company, you need to make sure as a company you're not leaking the information about your customer, because that will be a security breach. And for that, you can't have a control here. You're directly exposing data scientists or data analysts to the security and to your main data, and they are fetching, and there might be a breaches happening, and there is no control over that. Okay, now you can say security also and data governance. Okay, data governance is nothing but you need, as a company, you need to follow certain compliance according to government things, and now you are not following that. You are directly asking your data scientists and data analyst people to fetch the data. Now, seeing these all things, what do you think? Do you think, now my question to you all guys is, can data analyst and data scientist people work without a data engineers? Anyone?
No, we want that engineers.
Yeah. So now what happens is, let me go back to, okay. Now, instead of this, what we have, we will do is we build one location. Like this might be something as S3 or ADLS or GC. Now, don't worry, who don't know these things, we will talk. These are nothing, you for now you think this has a drive where storing all the information. This all you dump your information and you have that information in this particular storage. Now, what you do as you build a pipeline. You build a pipeline, you bring all this information into this particular single landing area. Okay. Now, who does this? Okay. You need to build a pipeline. Okay. You need to build a pipeline, and data engineers are the one who make sure they collect all the data from a particular different source, and they bring into a particular location. Now, they have brought already that data into this particular location. Is this solving the problems which we have discussed for data analysts and data scientists?
No.
You have only one single source of connection, right? Now directly you can go and connect and you can fetch, right? We saw that there are different multiple sources. It is very difficult for him to go and fetch from different sources. Now you have only one single storage. Still, why
Even then the
issues?
format will be different, right? Format will be different, no? There will be a CSV, Excel, JSON, or something. It will be different format will be there. So if you want to make a unified data, then we need a data engineering piece.
Exactly. That's what I wanted to discuss. So we saw these many issues, right? Now you took care of the first issue. Okay. Now you took care of the first issue, but still these many issues are there. You need to take care of these issues. Now, what data engineers further will do, they will come up with again all the pipelines. Okay. They build a pipelines and they make sure. Okay. Now what they are going to do, they build a pipeline. Let me connect this. Now, from this, they add a clean data here. Okay. Now they add a clean data. Now, whatever the things are there, now they are going to transform that. Okay. Anything on the transform? Okay. Now they are going to transform. Let me do that. Okay. Now they let me copy this. Okay. They build up another pipeline where they copy or where they fetch all the data from the sources. They clean the data then according to a business use case, and then they put into another location having clean data. Now they have put everything on this particular location. Now, as a data analyst or data scientist, I can directly go and fetch information from here as well. Okay. Now what happens is we have a clean data. We have everything. We took care of this all in. We took care of inconsistent data, duplicate data, missing data, slow performance, old data, different types of data. We took care of that, but still the data is in raw format. Okay, For example, the company, the data analyst, data analyst or data scientist type need a particular data which they need to join up multiple tables, and they need only single source of data where they can easily work. So another layer, another pipeline we can build where again we'll analyze this data and build another pipeline and say this is a final data according to business requirement. Now, according to business requirement, we have built this. Now I say, okay, you want this data, you go and fetch data from here. Okay. Now, the work of data analyst or data scientist is very easy now. They don't need to work on the behind scenes what is happening. Now, what they can do, they can directly go and take this data, they build their reports, and if there are any little bit issues in the reports also, they come back and they say for the data engineer guy, say, this is what I required for my particular report, but you are giving the data is wrong. Now I need to showcase to the CEO, he have within 1 week, he need to go to Shark Tank and you need to present this. So we need to fix it. So you make sure that you automate this process in such a way that these all things taken care and I get a clean and valid data. Now, who does that? Data engineers are the one who does that. Till now, any doubt, guys? For who did not know what data engineers do, data analysts do, data scientists do, do they have any idea now? Okay, I just want to confirm. Let's make this interactive.
Yeah, this is very clear.
Okay, thank you. Okay, now we saw what data engineers do and how they are helping them. Now let's take this example only since we are doing Snowflake, right? We are going to learn Snowflake. How Snowflake will help to fix these issues. Let's see. Okay. Now, what is Snowflake? Is now when we talked about this particular location, we said S3, AWS, or GC. This is a storage location of AWS, Azure, and Google. But instead of that, I would say I need something called as a warehouse, warehouse or a location where or data lake where I can say I'll keep my all the information. Now Snowflake comes into the picture. Now, instead of keeping this in a raw form, you can keep all the information in the form of another layer you can do, and you can keep instead of directly connecting here. Now I say I'll connect to this, and from here I'm going to clean the data, and I can do all this final data. So what Snowflake does is it helps us to do. We might be having different types of data, right? We have unstructured data, we have file data, we have different. We might have data in the form of zip. We might have data in the form of Avro, Parquet. These are the different types of data which are not human readable language. Now, what does Snowflake does? It takes all the information. They keep all the information in this particular Snowflake, and this from this Snowflake we can clean data, and data analyst can everything whatever you're doing this clean data you can do again this all the data things will be done in Snowflake. This is also Snowflake you do in Snowflake, and you keep a final data also in Snowflake. Okay, now we are going to take care of all these things. So whatever the issues we had, right, multiple resource, we are going to take care of that. You have inconsistency of data, we can write a piece of code, we can make sure that data is consistent from start to end. With the help of SQL we can write, and if there are any duplicate records we can make a simple piece of code, and we can make sure that duplicate data are not populated. So you are getting, for example, if you're getting a duplicate files, Snowflake makes sure that you don't copy these duplicate files. Once it is processed, it will make sure you don't copy again the same file. And there is any missing data, it will allow you track that missing data also. And if there is something feature called as a time travel in the Snowflake, okay? This feature, Snowflake was the first company who brought this feature. Now all the companies are trying to implement this time travel. Time travel is nothing but if there is any particular piece of information that is deleted or we missed in particular thing, now we can go back to this particular number of days if that is there in Snowflake tables, and we can fetch that information. Snowflake was the first company to introduce this in 2014. Now the people are trying to implement, even Databricks have implemented this time travel. Okay, now with the help of Snowflake we can do. Now any slow performance. Now Snowflake is such a way that they make sure that storage and computation are not coupled to each other. They are separate. Okay, you can keep your data separately, and whatever you are processing, that is separate. Now, in this way, what happens? Multiple people can access the same data at the same time, and if they need more computation power to work on this query, Snowflake have that facility to easily increase. No hard hassle to increase that resource. You can just click one thing as increase your virtual warehouse, and Snowflake helps to do that. Now, old data, now or incremental data. In Snowflake, we have something called as a streams, and we can make use of this stream to bring your incremental data day-to-day life. For example, you need only data that has come in for a particular business from for past 1 week. We can implement these streams and fetch that and bring that incremental data to your tables, or from where the company can work from start, or any data analyst or data scientist people can work on that. Now, different types of data, right? We talked about different types of data, the unstructured and structured data. Now, as I said, Snowflake has facility to convert that into a structure format. Now, it's very easy for the data analysts and data scientist people to work on top of that. Now, data security, okay? Now, in Snowflake, we have something called as RBAC. So what it does, it's a role-based access control. Role-based access control. Now we can have that security in saying that the data analyst can't see this particular amount of data. We can mask that data, and you can say these particular tables you should not. There might be tables which are having financial information that need not to be given particular person type of role. For admin, they need not to have access for this. Now we have in Snowflake, we can make sure that these things are defined, and a particular piece of people or particular group are having only the data they are required to build their reports, models, or pipeline. So Snowflake has that facility. Okay. Now, data governance. Now, data governance is Snowflake is in compliance with all the government rules, HIPAA, or whatever rules the company has, the government has asked the company to follow. They are in compliance with that, and that's the reason companies can rely on Snowflake without any issues, since they're encrypting your data. So there is no security breaches. They make sure that you have your data intact and help to grow the business in day-to-day life. Okay. Any doubts so far how Snowflake is helping? Any doubt, guys?
So Snowflake is only for Snowflake is only in data engineering, or it has also business
We'll see
analytical
that.
also?
Okay, we'll see that in a future. Again, we'll be discussing. But now, as with respect to data engineer, what Snowflake will do? Did you get that idea?
Yeah, I got it. Yeah.
Okay. Now,
So
yesterday someone did ask me, okay, will AI will replace data engineer? Who he's in the class? I don't know. I don't remember that. Sorry. Okay. Now I'll try to give an example. Okay. Now you saw these many things, right? We saw. Let me go here. Now, as a data analyst, he's the one who is building all the models. Now you saw these many things. Now do you think AI, any model that built by data engineer can have this clean, structured, high quality data where data engineers are building, maintaining this pipeline? Can they do without hassle? Any model can do. Will the company, as you started a company, and will you depend on that data? Anyone? Even for a data analyst to build their models, they rely on data engineers, because without proper inputs, they can't build the proper models. Okay. Now, AI cannot replace data engineers. Okay. AI cannot automate your pipelines. Okay. Once you build, you can make a help of AI to automate it, but to build from scratch, it doesn't have that any use case till now. Okay. That it doesn't know which storage I need to go. It doesn't know which processing tool I should do. Should I go with Snowflake? Should I go with Databricks? What I need to do? How I need to optimize? Still, it is very, very unclear. Okay, as a company, no one is going to depend on AI to build end-to-end pipeline. Okay, because AI cannot understand the business needs. Okay, as a CEO or as a person, you come and inform your manager, this is a what things I need, and you try to understand him, and on top of that, as a data engineer, you're building your pipeline. But you can directly go and prompt and say, hey, AI, build this pipeline for me. Have you ever seen have you ever seen this? Whenever you're prompting anything in the chat GPT, you ask for something, it gives something else. Have you ever experienced this?
No.
Sorry? Okay. You ask
What is the
something like,
question?
give
What
me
is
a
the question?
particular piece. Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
No, what is the question you're asking?
No,
Not
whenever you
getting.
go for a particular chat GPT and you need a piece of information of one line information, you prompt it and you say, what is this? And is try to give a long list of things, which is unwanted things also it is going to add. Do you really rely on that?
Not
Yes.
100%. Not 100%.
Yeah. Now again, you'll interpret all these things, you read things, and whatever is useful for you, you are going to make use of that, right? So in the same way, you can't, as a business, you can't directly say whatever the AI is building, I will rely on that. You need a person who need to build a pipeline. Okay. And if there are any issues, any troubleshooting, there might be coming error, you can't directly say AI will fix that. You need a person, you need a data engineer to understand why the issue is coming. You need to see that, and then he need to fix it. Then only it is going to solve your issues. Any complex issues, it will solve. Okay. Now, what I can say is you can be a good data engineer if you make use of AI to build your pipeline. Earlier, we used to write a lengthy course. We have to sit in front of your laptop. You have to code from scratch. You need to go and search all the websites. Stack. Have you ever heard this word Stack Overflow in the website? Stack Overflow.
We used to get some error message, right?
Yeah. Yep. So whatever the information you need, if any errors are there, you used to go to that Stack Overflow and type there, and you have to search. Some other person used to come if he has faced the same issue. He used to write that particular information. This is a fix what I have done, and he used to refer that and he used to fix. But now AI has made your life easy. You just need to prompt something saying that, okay, this is what I'm facing. Can you help me to fix it? Now AI is in such a way it will help you to fix your issues, but AI cannot build end-to-end pipeline. It will make your life easy. Okay, that's the reason all the tools, yeah, either it may be Databricks, Snowflake, any tools that are in cloud, they're integrating something called as chat assistance in their particular tool. What it does, it will help you to write a piece of code. Now I would say the data engineer life has become more easy or simple way. Just refer that, but that will also not give 100% code every time, but you get some foundation or idea of how to build a code, and on top of that, you can build your. So do you agree? Will AI will ever will replace data engineering easily? Not. I would not say ever. Maybe in the future, 7, 8 years in the future, when we have a great AI tools. But now, for at least for next 5 to 6 years, do you ever think it's going to replace?
No.
Do you agree with me? Anyone? Anyone who doesn't agree with me?
Yes, it's not going to replace, but so there is a majority of that head count, I mean, employees head counts going to down. Is it right? So if
See,
earlier 10 people they are working same works, if you use AI, they might head counts go down. If they know very well data engineer concept and the data analytics like that, the person is going to save for the job. If other person, if you have only for limited knowledge, then again you may risk as per my understanding.
so you only have answered your question. Okay. Now you are having all, the things like Snowflake. Now you said, right, have a knowledge on wide variety of tools which are being used. Now you're making use of AI also. Okay. Now you're building your tools. Now, do you need to worry about your job? Now you're making use of your AI. Now that's the reason the companies, and even there are companies who directly don't give access to the AI. You know why? because they are very like the data which they are having are very crucial. They can't expose that data. So some companies might not even have ChatGPT installed in their laptops. Okay, they won't allow you to go and access ChatGPT. Yeah, I agree, totally agree. AI will help you to build a pipeline, and maybe out of 10 jobs, now you might be having 8 jobs. But in that, you need to be in that person list, that 8-person list where you are having knowledge on all the tools and making use of AI. Now you'll be always safe. Do you agree with me?
It's true.
Yeah, that's what I want to do. Okay. Now you got a brief idea, I guess. Let's move ahead. Now we saw what why data engineers are backbone of every business. We saw how what they do. They collect the data, they store the data, they process the data, make sure optimize the data, and support in decision making. Okay, these are all things data engineers take care. Without data engineers, there are no business, and that's the reason why data engineering is booming in the current market. Okay, now in 2024, data engineers was top of the 5 high demand jobs. Okay, you had a lot of layoffs, a lot of job opportunities are less in 2024. There were no less calls, but there was only one domain that was having a lot of calls, that I would say as a data engineer. It might be Azure, it might be AWS, it might be Snowflake, it might be Databricks, anything related to data engineer that was in high boom in 2024. And I would say in coming days, okay, this is what the prediction from World Economic Forum, that in coming days by 2030, these are the tools, high growing, fast growing jobs. That is first in big data special. Big data is nothing but whatever we are discussing as a data engineer, it is termed as a big data. That's it. So this will be the top one job role in coming days. And once you master these tools, you no need to worry for next 5 to 6 years. Okay, why I'm saying 5 to 6 years? Okay, now I want to clear this also. In IT industry, you know that, right? There will be always a wave. Okay, in 2015, 2014, there was a wave of web. Have you ever heard this full stack web developer? What does a full stack web developer do? Anyone?
He is the person is going to build from end-to-end solution.
Sorry, I'm not able to hear you.
The person who is going to build end-to-end solution.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. End-to-end solution of what? Sorry.
Digital topic, like front end.
Front and back end.
What do you mean by website? Website. What do you mean by website? Whatever the website you see for any company, you click and go Amazon, you have a website, you have a UI. So data full stack web developers are the one who build that UI, right? There might be a front end, there might be a back end, there might be using some particular tools to build those websites. Okay, to have that smooth flow of your websites. Okay. Now in 2015 and 2016 era, this was a high demand job. Okay, till 2000 before COVID. Okay, whoever you go, whoever you ask, they used to say, I want to do a full stack web development. I want to do a merge stack. Okay, why that was in demand? Because all the companies were trying to implement their website. They are trying to enter in the world of internet, and they were building their website. That's why they are hiring people like it. Now is an era of data. Now, what the people have done, they have already built, they have established their company. Now they are trying to fetch all the information which they can do, which can sustain their business for next 10, 20 years. Now, for next 5 to 6, 7 years, I would say it will be era of data engineer. Now, once in 7 to 8 years in front, I would say that will be era of AI. Why? Now you have collected all the data, you have everything. Now you need to predict the future. Now AI engineers will come and work on this clean data. Now, I would not say at that time again data engineer job will decline, but still there are a lot of openings for full stack web developer. They are still going, but as compared to 2015, that has declined. In future, 5 to 6 years in the future, that might decline. Now, what I would say, if you want to be a good data scientist, I would say you need to be a good data engineer. Why? Why you think so? Why I'm saying it? Anyone can answer this. Now I'm saying if you need to be a good data scientist, you need to be a good data engineer. Anyone who can justify this? What I'm saying?
Can you repeat your
Anyone who can?
question, please?
Sorry.
Can you repeat your question, please?
What I said, if you need to be a good data scientist or AI engineer, but you need to be a good data engineer first.
Good foundation will be good. Like that.
Now, I'm not talking about the competition or anything, but I'm just talking
No,
as
not
a
competition.
job.
Foundation.
Am I give an answer?
Yeah, sure, you can go.
Yeah. So the data engineer is needed because the means the data engineer is a person who is starting from the raw data to transform that, how he is meaningful data to transform that, extract that data. So in the, we can say that who have been worked on the ground level, who can be work on the peak level as well. So the ground level work have been started by the data engineer only. He know which kind of data is needed for the business, and what from which source what relevant data need to be extracted to transform and load in the relevant tables. So through that tables, by the data scientist, it can be extracted by the BI tools, and that, so it is a end-to-end solution he the can be get if the will be career start as a data engineer. So he know end-to-end process once he will be up to go for the data engineer, data scientist, or up to the AI or ML engineer.
Exactly. That's an excellent answer, I would say. Okay. Do all agree with this answer?
Yeah, just I'm going to add one point. So that's good. And so again, so if you have multi skills, again, there is no dependency. If you have only data sciences, again, he has to depend on data engineers. If you have both skills, definitely can go fetch the relevant data and he can build on top of that model.
Yep. Exactly. Now, what companies are looking is these kind of people, okay, who knows data analyst work also, data engineering work also, data scientist work also. I would not say now, maybe in the future, like 3 to 4 years, this will become a mandatory. At least you need to have, as a data engineer, you need to have a little bit skills of Power BI as well, because they know they want a full stack data engineer. Now, how we have full stack web developer, they need someone who has a full stack data engineer who can work on backend. Now, whatever you're working in the data as a data engineer, it's a backend work. Whatever you're working in the Power BI or as a data analyst is a front end work. Okay. Now they are looking combining these two skills also. They are looking maybe in the future, like 3 to 4 years, that might be mandatory. But now, since they still have a lot of raw data, data engineers are growing, and once you learn this tool, you are good to go for next at least 5 to 6 years. You don't need to worry about your job. Okay, thank you for answering those questions. Now let's go ahead and move to the next. Okay. Now, hey, is there anyone who worked on ETL tools here in our class?
Yeah, I'm working on InfoSphere data stage.
Sorry?
Yeah, I'm working on IBM InfoSphere data stage.
Okay. Now, these are the traditional tools that were usually used in the earlier days. Okay, these were the on-prem tools. Okay, here you need to set up all the infrastructure. There was infrastructure cost they had a scalable issues. Now we talked everything yesterday, right? What on-prem things issues we have. We face a scalable issues. We face a slow processing since it doesn't have that massive data or handling process. We have complex maintenance. We have seen all this. Okay, now I would comment this one thing from now, like today is 2025. Okay, March 14th, I guess, right? Any project from today or in the future, if a company is investing or trying to build up data pipeline, they are not going to go with it. No company is going to use this tool. Why I would say is, again, there might be a lot of projects that's already there in on-prem. I would not say that are not there. Okay, they are still moving to cloud. Now all the company want to move cloud, and they want to use the modern data engineering tools. That makes their life easy. As a business also, they don't need to worry about this infrastructure. The only thing they need to worry is about data or what kind of information they need. Okay, these tools are absolute. Now, even Microsoft, the earlier tool what Microsoft used to do for ETL is SSIS. They have closed this tool. They are not giving any support for this tool. They say if you want any support, we are going to give our cloud tool, that is Azure Data Factory. You can make use of it. Informatica Power Center, it's not there. They have come up with their own tool. That's Informatica Cloud. Okay, IICS. Now they ask you implement this. We are not going to give you support for this particular. Okay. Now, if anyone who are working on this tool, they need to work on the modern data engineering tools. Okay. Now, there might be a n number of data engineering tools. Okay. As a data engineer, day to day, a lot of tools are going to come. But there are set of tools which goes hand to hand, and there are highly great demand in the market. That is one is Snowflake. Now we discuss what is Snowflake, what is doing. Okay, we'll discuss more, but Snowflake is a tool where it's a cloud-based software as a service. Okay, which says you use our software, you don't need to worry about our infrastructure, nothing. Just take our software, go to the any website or any you just need a browser to access your profile, and then once you log in, you just start building your code. Backend, whatever issues there, we'll take care. You need to connect to all the sources, we'll help you with that. So Snowflake is the one tool that is helping you as a centralized data warehouse. Now, there might be earlier it started in 2019, 2018 as a cloud data warehouse, but now there are a lot more features to that we'll discuss in the next slide. But Snowflake is a tool which is high in demand. Now, what is DBT? Some people might don't know what is DBT. DBT is nothing but data build tool. It's a transformation tool. Okay. In data engineering, we use these two terms, ETL and ELT. Okay. Now, I show this particular pipeline, right? Now, what we used to do is to extract all and load, and we are transforming and we are giving final data. This is called as where extract the data, transform the data, and again you load the data. There is another time where you say everything you put in Snowflake. Now this might be ELT, where you are putting everything in a Snowflake, you're loading in Snowflake, and you're transforming the data and giving to the final data analyst and data scientist. They are the two terms. Okay. Now, what does now what is DBT is a ELT tool. You are extracting and you are loading into a Snowflake, and on top of Snowflake, you're making a simple SQL or Zinza code, which is based on the SQL based code, and you are transforming it and you are maintaining your data inside the Snowflake. Okay, that's the reason the people are using DBT, because it's very easy to use, and whatever the complex transformation you're writing in the Snowflake, it will make you easy to just implement with the help of DBT. Just convert it into a simple SQL based tool. There are something called the macros or models where we are going to build a models, which that is a very simple. It's not again data scientist model. It's a data engineer or transformation models which are going to build that make your life still easy. Now, what is Metalion? Now, sorry.
So this ELT tool can't use with like GCP and database, only with Snowflake it will use.
DBT, you're talking about DBT?
This DBT, yeah, DBT.
DBT only works on data warehouse. Okay, we can work with Redshift, we can work with the GCP. We can work with Synapse, you can work with BigQuery, you can work with Databricks. Whatever the data warehouse is there, right? It connects only to that, and you can work. There are few adapters which you can connect. But why it is more in demand? Because Snowflake, it has more hands to hand with Snowflake, and a lot of companies are using it.
Okay, but so without ELT, we can't. I mean, the same functionality we can't use in Snowflake.
We can use. That's what I said. Right? We can do each and everything what DBT is doing. You can do in Snowflake. But to write, there is a particular piece of code you need to write a huge code, and your company or a business want for to writing that huge code, you need a time, right? For any piece of work that might require 1 week of time. Now, as a company, I say you use the money, I don't have issues, but you finish that work in 1 day. Now, DBT comes in picture to make use of that. Okay, it makes your life easy. Whatever the complex code you are writing in Snowflake, we can just build a simple, write a SQL based code or Jinja code, and we can convert that into a simple model.
Sir, in the DBT, as you said, ELT. So first, it will extract the data from the different stream and then load into the
No.
suppose in the S3, suppose in the Amazon S3 bucket, then it will be from their storage, it will be load to the Snowflake, correct?
Yeah, DBT don't connect with any storage. It only connects with data warehouse. Okay. The extracting you done and you load it to Snowflake. Now transformation you're doing with help of DBT.
So DBT will come in the picture on the transformation only.
Yep. You for transforming, for scheduling, so for Git configuration in the cloud, the DBT comes in. Okay. Any doubt, guys? Shall we move ahead?
I have one questions. Can you use in Greenplum and Teradata in on-premises service? I mean,
No, on-premises, no, DBT Cloud doesn't support. There was something called DBT Core, but I have not worked on Core. That was an on-prem system which used to connect to the system, but I don't think so Teradata is supported with DBT. I need to check on that because I mainly work with Snowflake with DBT. I don't think so Teradata is supported with DBT. No on-prem system is supported. Only cloud data warehouse is supported for DBT.
okay, thank you.
Yep. Okay, we'll move ahead. Now we talked about ELT. Now what is Matillion? Matillion is ETL tool. Now, what happens is since Snowflake doesn't have now again here we saw that okay, in Snowflake you need to depend on particular storage. Now directly going and connecting to particular sources you need to write a piece of code. Okay, that can also be done, but again the companies don't want that hassle. Okay, there are some companies they want low code or no code implementation. So what is no code or low code is nothing but I have a tool where you can just have something called as a drag and drop tool, and you can connect and you can fetch that in. Now that come if the company wants in such a way, then Matillion comes to picture. So what Matillion is doing, it just go and connect to your sources. It's also a cloud-based tool. It works on it depends on the AWS or Azure. On top of that, it is going to run. Now, what it does, it connects to your sources, it extracts the data, and you can write some transformation in form of drag and drop, and then you can load into a Snowflake. Now, that will be the end source where data analyst or data scientist can fetch your data. It's a low code or no code interface. Why no low code? You need to write a simple SQL statement, but the coding is very less. Any doubt in Matillion?
Also, there is in the Metalian using some Java related things, JavaScript or Java related.
There are few transformations which you can write a Python code, or you can make an use of that. Java, I don't think so. I have not seen that. That feature is there, but mainly whatever you work, right? You are not writing any code in Matillion. It's like you are dragging. You just drag. There are already something tools like already there. You just drag that and you give your source. This is my source, and these are the information I need to extract. It's like a node in Notepad. How you do that? There will be a configuration you configure and it extract that data. You're not writing any code in Matillion.
So that means that transformation business logic also there is no code.
No, already, for example, you need to join two tables, right? There is something called as a transformation tool as a join. You drag and drop and you say which are the tables you need to join. Table A and table B, you configure that, it will only do. And in joining also, it will ask which kind of join you need to write. Is it a left join, right join, full outer join? It will ask you, and by itself in the backend, it will convert into a SQL code and does that transformation. That's the reason company. Yeah, sorry.
It means it's using only SQL language here only, right?
Yeah, in backend it converts into SQL.
It's like Azure Data Factory, right? Azure Data Factory, we also do the same thing.
Yep. But
Metallion is
I would like
alternative of ADF.
I would not say alternate ADF because Azure Data Factory is it has same things like for orchestration also you can use, and there is something called as a data flows in ADF, right? Do you know that?
Yeah, data flow, I know, yeah.
Yeah, it is similar to that. For any transformations, you use data flow. For orchestration, there is a separate section for that. You use Matillion. It's similar to that of ADF, I would say.
For
Okay.
But
Matillion,
these are all.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
so source can be on S3 also for Matillion.
Anything. There are connectors in the Matillion. You can go and directly connect to your on-prem system also. Now,
Okay.
DBT can't do that. Whereas Matillion can go and connect to your on-prem system and bring that data to your cloud. You just need to pass a piece of information.
Sir, in our existing environment of the corporate, how many companies or projects are using Matillion?
See, I would say whenever you go with Snowflake, right? Whenever a company is using Snowflake, either they go with the DBT or try to go with Matillion. Now, there are n number of tools that are available in the market. I showed, right? I showed Informatica. It has their own cloud, that is IICS. It is also doing their same thing, extracting, transforming, and loading. There is a Alteryx, there is a Fivetran. Okay. But compared to those tools, Matillion are more suitable with respect to Snowflake. Okay. Whenever you try to create any account, it will ask you which data warehouse you need, and you can pass directly as a Snowflake. So whatever changes you make in the Matillion, it is directly reciprocated in the Snowflake. It is very easy to implement. So most of the company, when they try to go with the ETL, they try to go with Matillion.
Okay. But
Okay.
as per the current scenarios opening purpose, I am asking how many opportunities right now existing currently?
That's what I said, right? For Snowflake, either DBT or Matillion. Okay, there are a lot of openings for. I would not say only for Matillion you don't have opportunity. You need to have in your profile Snowflake. You need to have that information. Now, for example, I'm teaching you Matillion, and in your company, if they're using any other ETL tool, you have the foundation here. You know each and everything what Matillion is doing. The same thing other company. Now, someone has said, is it a ADF? No, is it reciprocating to ADF? Whatever you are doing there, you are doing there. Okay, the foundation is remaining same. Now we can't come and teach you each and all tools, right, in span of 4 months. Now you're going
that I know. But for cloud informatica, I think a major of the projects are using because this is the oldest and already existing projects which is running since long time.
So only the projects which are there in the Informatica Power Center, they will be moving to Informatica Cloud. Okay. Now everything has a business. You need to think of that also, right? You need to think about cost and services, what and all. Now you're going Informatica, you're buying the services of Informatica also. Then you are having Snowflake things also. Now, but most of the things, if you want to run on a cloud and you need with respect to AWS or anything, Matillion comes into the picture. Because you are running your services of Matillion on top of AWS. So you're using AWS instance to run these things. Okay, it depends. Okay, it depends on company what their tools they use. But as per my knowledge or as per current market situation, Snowflake with Matillion, one job profile you get. Snowflake with DBT, another job profile you get. Okay, I would say this is a 70% to 70 to 80% of the market which you are having with respect to ETL tool. Okay, did I answer your question?
Yes, we got it. So we need to go either Snowflake and DBT or Snowflake Matillion. Is it right? Okay.
Yep.
So DBT and Matillion should be there either one. Is it right?
Yep. Exactly. Because both are doing the same thing, right? Why the company will invest both things at the time? Same time.
So
Sir, you are
Depends
going
on
to
the
teach
use. Sorry.
you're going to teach like either EBT or Matillion. You can teach like both. Both.
Yeah.
Okay. That's good.
Yep. We are going to teach both. We are going
So
with why we are going with Matillion. There are some students they came and asked. They are asking Matillion as well. So the market is also now. It's also they are using. So that's the reason we are going to Matillion, and you get a basic idea how ETL process works. And as a Snowflake developer, it's a plus add-on tool on your profile, and you have large number of opportunities. That's the reason we have added Matillion. It's easy to learn as well. Okay, shall we move ahead?
Sagar, like last one, like can we connect legacy systems to Matillion?
Yeah, we can connect to on-prem system to Metalian.
Not with the DBT, no. With Matillion we
No,
can connect.
no.
Okay,
That's the
how
reason I
about
said no. ELT. Okay, why I said ELT? Because you have your data on Snowflake. Then only you're working with transformation. Here it is extracting from your source. And coming to cost, DBT, whatever it runs, right? It runs on top of your Snowflake. So it makes use of Snowflake resources to run that. Whereas Matillion, you need to run EC2 instance. That is, you need to have the virtual computer in the AWS and you are running, and you need to monitor that. Okay, there's some cost associated with Matillion. Okay, guys, shall we move ahead? Any doubt?
Hi, Sagar.
If,
Yeah, I have one question. With respect to the Python, right? As end to end, you will do or teach automation using Python, or only just a portion?
we will discuss the syllabus. Give me 5 to 10 minutes. We'll finish this slides and we'll discuss what is the syllabus, what we are going to show. I'll showcase that and then we can have this. No worries. Is that okay?
Yeah, thank you.
Okay. Now, there is another tool called the Snowpark. Now, what is Snowpark is nothing but it's a framework, okay, where you can write your Python code, Java or Scala code instead of Snowflake. Now, whatever code you are going to write again in the backend, it will convert into a SQL query and execute. Okay. Now you need to have a complex transformation. You need to have a machine learning or advanced analytics. At that time, we go with the Snowflake. Okay. We'll discuss this about this more when we go ahead. I would want to bring this slide and say why Snowflake is dominating in the market. Now, there might be a people they're saying Snowflake is just a data warehouse. Okay. Yeah, agree. Snowflake might be just a data warehouse when it was launched. Okay. When it was launched, it was doing as a data warehouse thing. Now, with the help of Snowflake, you can do n number of activities. Okay. Now you can use it as a data warehouse. You can use it as a data lake. Data lake is nothing but where you're keeping your structured data and you're keeping your unstructured data and processing that. You can do that well as well with the help of Snowflake. They have something called the directory tables where you can fetch all the images and everything inside Snowflake, and we can see that piece of information that is converted and convert that into a table and keep that information. You can do that. Okay. Now we have discussed what data engineer work that is doing. Now it works as a data action. You can exchange the data as well. There is something called a marketplace where you can sell your process and you say, okay, these are the things which are you can make use of my data, and on top of that, if you're building any project, you can do that. You can sell that things also. Okay. Now data scientist people also can work on with respect to Snowflake. They build the models, everything they can. Okay. Now there are n number of sources we can directly bring into Snowflake, and we can do those things. And on top of that, data analyst can directly work on Snowflake. No need to worry about that. You can write a simple piece of SQL code or views or anything, and for the reports, whatever the operational reports he does, you can do ad hoc data analysis also. There are something called as a reports we can generate inside the Snowflake also. If you want to have a brief idea what this particular table is doing, you can, as a data analyst, you can do that also. You can implement a real-time analytics also. Whatever the data is coming, as soon as it comes in particular piece of S3 or any location, you can directly bring that into Snowflake. Now that's the reason it is more than the data warehouse. That's the reason it's dominating. So it can be used with respect to Google Cloud. It can be used with respect to AWS. It can be used with respect to Azure. Okay, we can make use of data Snowflake everywhere. Okay, that's the reason a lot of companies would try to. On top of that, again, there are a lot of features. We'll discuss that when I'll be teaching Snowflake. I'll be discussing that because I don't want to overburden with these features. There are time travel features. There are something called the zero copy cloning, and another I said like here the storage cost and the compute cost which you're doing, it is separate. So that's also advanced. That's one point, and it's more advanced, and we can easily scale everything in the Snowflake. That's the reason people prefer Snowflake or other data warehouse. Okay. Now next. Okay. Now here, what is Redshift, BigQuery, and Synapse are? These are competitor for Snowflake. Okay. Now yesterday someone did ask why you need to go with Snowflake. Why not this? Okay. Now, as I said, a performance related to perform in Snowflake can easily auto scale. Okay, if you are not using any particular warehouse, you can directly make it a suspended state, and when you just click any particular query, it will start automatically. Okay, whereas in Redshift, BigQuery, and Synapse, it is not that simple. You have to manually resize every time in the Redshift. You have to take care of nodes. There are nodes and clusters which you create in the Redshift. You have to manage those things, because if you don't do, it will cost you a heavy. And in BigQuery, whatever the query you run on top of that, the query is going to charge. And if you have a large complex query, it will going to charge. Whereas in Synapse, you need to build these pools. You need to build the complex dedicated pools, whatever you need to do. And for that, scaling of that is not that easy. Whereas Snowflake, it's on one go, you can implement this queries. Whereas on coming to cost, again, it's a pay as you go. If you use only 1 second, you're going to pay only for that. Okay. If you suspend your virtual warehouse, then they are not going to charge you anything. Your data is there, they are going to charge for that, but they are not going to charge for your queries, whatever the things you have. But in Redshift, it is a pay per node. If your cluster is on and it's whenever it's in idle state, also they are going to charge. Whereas in BigQuery, we can't predict the pricing. Okay. Whereas in Synapse, again, it's a high cost and high threat cost. Okay. You need to build these dedicated, dedicated SQL pools. That's why the cost is more. Okay. Whereas easy to use. Okay. The UI of Snowflake is very easy. Then there is no need to do a maintenance also. Everything is taken care by Snowflake. You only need to do is run your queries. Whereas in Redshift, manually you need to tune your queries. You need to vacuum. What do you mean by vacuum? Means you need to clean backend. Okay, whatever the things you are going to run, that is being logged, and you need to clean that manually. Whereas Snowflake take care of that by itself. Okay? There is no control of tuning in BigQuery. And Synapse, again, you need always optimizing of your database. Okay, and coming to cloud, now cloud, it is like cross cloud sharing. We can start your in Snowflake with AWS, but again you can connect with Azure with easy. We can connect with GCP. But once you start with Redshift, it mainly supports AWS. BigQuery only supports GCP, and Azure only supports Azure. Okay, whereas coming to semi-structure, again you can work all these things. Whereas in Redshift, you need to again build the transformations. In BigQuery, they're very flexibility. They're not much flexibility, and they lack support in Synapse. Okay, and there are some of the features. Okay, the zero copy cloning. What is that? We just clone your whatever database or whatever the tables you're doing. You can clone, and inside again, it's not charging for that cost. It just make a clone and copy of that, and we point towards that particular location, whatever already there in the backend storage. Okay, we have a time travel feature. If there are anything missing for you, do anything missing data, and you need to fetch the behind 30 days behind data, you can do that. Whereas there is no cloning. Okay, any duplication you can't do. Need. There is no built-in time travel in BigQuery. And for Synapse, again, there are very limited options. Okay. Now, I would say that AWS is like a apartment. It's like a good apartment where you need to bring all your furnitures, all your maintain, all your items, and you need to maintain on top. Okay. Whereas Google query, BigQuery, what can I say, is like a hotel. Okay. Whenever you go hotel per day, you're going to, if you stay in a particular hotel, you log in and log out on particular on the day basis they are charging, right? It's like that. Okay. Whereas Synapse is like very big house, but very small rooms. And to open that one particular room also or lock is very difficult. Whereas Snowflake is a luxurious apartment. It is fully furnished, it is fully managed. All you need to go is go and stay there. Okay. Any doubt so far in these things?
Salva, I think just I want to use a statement in the BigQuery. We are having the time travel option, but compared with Snowflake, no, I think there is some here some 90 days or here I think only 7 days. I think because I used it time travel, but I don't know what is.
Sorry. I was not aware of that because BigQuery I did not work more. I worked a little bit on Redshift, but on Snowflake, BigQuery I have not worked. So if that's a feature, I'll explore that for sure. Thank you for.
Yeah, I think maybe 7 days or some 10 days.
Yes, sure.
We can use
Thank
it.
Oh, thank you for bringing that. Yep. Any doubts, guys?
So,
Shall we move it?
yeah,
Sorry.
so Sagar, in these classes, no, like, will you give the like some live sessions, like not live sessions, like on-hand sessions of like auto scaling on Snowflake and all? Will you
Yeah,
provide,
we'll be
like,
explaining each and everything on how you do auto scaling, how you maintain your warehouse. We'll be teaching all those. Don't worry. Okay. Now, this is a very last slide because this is one of the most question that whenever we see that been asked by every student, why do I need to go with the Snowflake? Why I need to go with it? Why not Databricks? Okay. Now, before going this, let's have for 5 minutes. We'll have a small discussion. Okay. How many of you here use iPhone and how many of you use Samsung? Anyone? iPhone fan? Samsung fan?
you go with Android?
Sorry?
Android, Samsung.
Android fan? Who is iOS fan?
Not
Android.
fan, we're using it.
Sorry?
Android.
Android?
Right.
Android? No one is using
Yeah.
iPhone?
iPhone, we are using it. Not like, they just skipped it. I am using it. That's it.
Okay. Okay. So you guys have used iPhone also and you have used Android also. Now I would take this example to explain this topic. I would say Databricks is like an iPhone, okay, and Snowflake is like a Samsung company. Now you have seen these ads, right? Have you ever seen the Samsung is trolling iPhone and iPhone is trolling Samsung? Have you seen these ads?
Yes.
But if you troll any company, they can do a lawsuit on top of you, right? Why they are not doing that? Even though they're trolling each other, they say this is a feature you don't have. I have this feature. You have waste of time. You directly they are trolling each other, but they're not doing any defamation case on top of each other, saying that you are doing false promises on top of a product. Have you ever thought that why they are not doing that? Anyone? Okay, let me
But
explain. Sorry, someone was answering. Please go ahead.
uh, I think in US, I think there is a law, but I don't know in. I think
Okay.
there is a law like we should not.
Yeah, but there is a law, but you don't see anything. Every year, once or twice, we see these ads, okay, where iPhone is trolling Samsung and Samsung is trolling iPhone. They're saying our device is best, and some iPhone says my device is best. Okay. Now, what's happening is here they have a ad and they are running this ad. On top of that, people, the customers or any normal people, they have also started this trend. My iPhone is best, Samsung is best. Now, what's happening here? The word of mouth is increasing. People are talking about iPhone, people are talking about Samsung. Okay, they are comparing. The more they compare, the more they do, the more they talk. Who is at the end? Who is going to be in profit? Who do you think? Samsung is in profit or iPhone is in profit?
Both.
Yeah, exactly. They want people to talk about the now. Nowhere you see iPhone is being compared to IQ. iPhone is compared to some other Redmi. These things are not seen because they think like this is the tool which the Samsung whatever they're trolling. They are bringing more market to ourselves. They're marketing ourselves, and people are going and comparing our device. And on top of that, if they like, they're going to take our device. In the same way, you see in the current market situation, Databricks versus Snowflake. You see a lot of LinkedIn posts, you see a lot of YouTube videos saying that Snowflake is best, Databricks is best. And this, I would say both are good. Okay, some people might be using iPhone, for some people Android is best. It depends on their use case. Okay, now let's take that example and see what is Databricks and what is Snowflake. Okay, Now, the main purpose of Snowflake is like a data warehouse where, as we talked, and we bring all the data and we do it. Whereas in Databricks, the main thing is it's a lake house. It's not a warehouse. Where lake house is not nothing. Advanced analytics and machine learning or very huge amount of data. You're having petabytes or terabytes of data, then you need a more computation power. Okay, and that time Spark come into the picture. At that time, Databricks comes into the picture where now you have a GBs to TBs of data. You don't need that much huge computation. At that time, you just need a simple SQL-based queries to write your code. Snowflake comes to the picture. Now, for example, what is the least price you can get for iPhone? A least price iPhone. What is that?
At least 30,000.
30,000? A recent, I would say the latest version. Now, don't go with the least, 4 to 5 years old version because that doesn't make any sense, right?
Latest one is around 60 to 70.
Okay, 60, 70. Now, you think your use case is just to do a calling, just to take a random pick, sometimes listen to music, and you're paying 60,000 for that. Does that make any sense to you? You need to give a phone to your grandmother who just know how to call. Will you give iPhone for them?
Definitely no.
Hell, same way, Databricks is like that. It's a bit costlier than Snowflake. If you are using simply a Databricks saying that, okay, this is only this much amount of work case I have, I'll write a Python code, I'll make it complex so that I can show that, okay, I have done a huge project. It doesn't make any sense. Whereas in Samsung, what's the lowest price phone you have in Samsung at this moment? That might be 10K, 15K. Right. Now, just for calling, you can use that. Now, you need bit more good features. You can go with little bit more cost and add that particular Samsung phone for you. Okay. You need a best and best like Samsung S24 Ultra or N25 Ultra, which has each end to end. You can go up to that level also. The Snowflake will go till that level also. Okay. Now, whereas in Databricks, only premium custom work where you have huge data, you need to implement Spark code, then only you need to go with the data. Okay. Now, coming to people who are starting their data engineering career, if they go with the Databricks, they need to learn Spark end to end. Okay. They need to have all knowledge. They need to know how to optimize a cluster. They need to know how data Spark works behind what are the scenes. They need to go and check each and everything inside Databricks. It's not like straightforward. They need to learn Python. They need to learn Scala. Whereas in Snowflake, if you learn SQL, you are almost 80 to 90%, you have covered everything. Everything works on top of SQL and Snowflake. So it's very easy for a data engineer who is getting started as a data engineer to get started. Snowflake is the one. Now, whatever the features that are there in Databricks, that are also there in Snowflake. I'm not denying that. There might be one or two features that might not be there. Okay. Now, has iPhone and Samsung are trying to compete with each other, and they bring one feature. 1 year Samsung will be on top, and another year's iPhone will be on top. Okay. In the same way, it's happening here. Okay. Yeah. Where in setup you can fully manage, and there is no tuning required for Snowflake. Where in Databricks you need to always cluster management. You have to do. You have to make sure the auto scaling which you're using, the cluster which you're using, is not unwantedly used. Okay. To start any particular cluster in Databricks, you need to wait while running, you need to wait 2 or 3 minutes to get started. Whereas Snowflake, it's just an instant. You click, your query gets started, right? Okay. Now it's very easy to handle semi-structure and data structure, can easily handle. Whereas if you have very big data on machine learning models, you can go with the data. Okay. It's for best for whom? For BI, for data engineering reporting, or any simple analytics, I would say, or a simple model building, Snowflake is good. Whereas real-time analytics, very big models, you need to build. Databricks is the one who is giving that feature. On top of that, they're charging you as well. Okay. So that's the reason I say why Snowflake is very easy to learn to get started with SQL. It is fully managed, and it's very easy to start as a data engineer. Any doubt in this, guys? Did you get now? You have. Are you clear like why Databricks and why Snowflake? Some people might be having this issue. That's the reason I'm asking.
Snowflake required for as per procedural language regarding it requires JavaScript, correct?
No, it's like, see, inside your whatever the code you are writing, right? It's just a syntax. The pre-built JavaScript syntax are there, but the logic, whatever you are writing, it's a SQL logic only. You will write a SQL query and you pass that query in that logic, and that it makes use of JavaScript to run that. So it's just a faster way. It's just using the language. That's it. Okay. And we will teach that also. Don't worry. It's not a big deal.
Okay.
And I want to add one more top of this. In Databricks, it's very difficult to work on the SQL based. Okay. Simple things it supports. Okay. But you can't have a procedure, you can't write a function as a SQL. Okay. They're still working on top of that. As a data warehouse, it's very difficult to work on this on the Databricks. Okay. Recently in our project, like last year, we have to move from Databricks to Snowflake. Why? Because that particular project, the company, the client which he's having, he in Databricks we have written a lot of codes and a complex codes, and he don't as a client, if you are new to this field and you just need something which can understand, and once you build and give the particular product to client, you need to maintain that, right? You need to hire a person, and he wanted low code or no code with simple SQL things. So yeah, and his data was also not huge when we compare, and the cost was bearing on top of Databricks was more. So yeah, they thought to move to Snowflake, and they have moved to Snowflake. Okay. Again, I'm saying both are in high demand in current market situation. I would say around 20% of the market belongs to Snowflake, around 8 to 9% of the market belongs to Databricks. Okay. Any doubt in this, guys? Shall we go ahead?
Is it Databricks is cloud-based or some premises?
Yeah, it's same. Whatever Snowflake is doing, it's same thing.
Okay.
It's support. But another thing, thank you for bringing this up. Now, why Databricks is in more demand is Azure has integrated with Databricks, and they say, okay, let's have a partnership. We'll launch your service in our own services as a Azure Databricks. Everything will take care of backend, like a network security, data storage, everything will take care, and we'll divert that towards your UI or Databricks where they can write a code. Now that's the reason the Databricks is in demand. No other services like AWS or GCP have this feature. Now, if you are working with Databricks, you have to go with Azure. If you're going with AWS or GCP, it's very difficult to build a pipeline. You need to depend on multiple tools now. That's the reason it's more and more demand is there for Databricks. But now the thing is, now also Microsoft Fabric came into the picture. They are moving everything in Microsoft Fabric, whatever you used to do in Databricks. They have their own notebooks. They're doing maybe in the future 2 to 3 years. They might not promote as much. They are promoting Databricks now, okay, because they want to promote their product, right? Yeah, that's one thing.
How
Okay.
about the security wise?
Both are secure. Here you have something called the Unity catalog in Databricks. The same thing is done here using RBAC.
What is it? RBAC.
Role-based access control. Here in Databricks also you're doing role-based access control inside Unity catalog. Just they have given a fancy name, that's it. Okay. Now, I know it's been more than, let's take next 10 minutes more and finish it off so that we can start our classes from Monday. So we can start SQL from Monday. So what exactly is we are going to learn as a Snowflake data engineer? The first thing you need to do is SQL. You need to know Python. You need to know some data warehouse concepts, and you need to be comfortable with one cloud, that is AWS. Okay. Then you need to master Snowflake, each end to end. We are learning DBT. Then we'll explore Matillion, and we'll try to build few pipelines using AWS plus DBT, AWS or Snowflake plus DBT, Snowflake with Matillion, and if time permits, we'll also do AWS with Snowflake. Okay. And then if I'm not a big fan of certification, to be fair, if you want, but some companies might ask certification. I feel skills are more important than certification. And if you need help with certification, we'll help with that. Okay. Now, let me just go here and just briefly explain what all the things we are going to do. Okay. So that you can have some idea. So we'll start with SQL. So once we finish our SQL, we are going to start with Snowflake. Okay. We'll have around 5 weeks on Snowflake. We'll learn each end-to-end things daily, 1.5 hour classes will be having. So once we finish Snowflake, now whatever things you require for Python, we are going to learn. So once we learn Python, we are going to learn Snowpark. Okay, because Snowpark is where you need to you write a data frames that you will understand only when you know pandas in Python. Okay, once you understand this, then we're going to start with Matillion. Then we are going to start with DBT, and at the end we'll do AWS services. Okay, so this is the flow we'll be doing for the particular class, so that at least from DBT, once we finish DBT, you can start applying for jobs either from Matillion or DBT, and you have this one cloud on top of that, which will be helpful for you even if you get opportunity to work on that. Any doubt on that? Every day the classes will be from 7 to 8:30. Monday to
What
Friday.
the duration of will be the course? This
It will be
course?
4 to 4.5
Months?
Yep.
Okay.
And sometimes on weekends also, I would say. If we need to build any projects and all, we'll be doing on the weekends.
How many projects we will cover on it?
Yeah. For sure, 2 projects. One with AWS with Metalian, AWS with DBT, Snowflake with DBT, and one is Snowflake, AWS plus Python. And if time permits, AWS services with Snow. These are the 3 projects. For sure, 2 projects we're going to do. This is optional. We'll try to implement this.
After completion of this whole course, then the projects will be start, or after covering some concepts, will it be like parallel?
Okay.
And
So after we complete a Snowflake core, that is whatever required, we will be doing one project where we'll be extracting data from MySQL using Python into Snowflake. Okay.
Sir, how many classes will you take for Python?
Let me open this syllabus.
Yeah,
okay.
good.
This is syllabus. Now this is not
every topic. Please let me know which is you will be more in detail and how much hours you will be consumed for that.
Sure. I'll definitely let you know. So this is a main syllabus. We'll be sending this after formatting. It's still in progress. By end of the today, we'll be doing that. So we'll start with SQL, guys. In SQL, minimum it will be 17 to 20 classes. Okay. It will be minimum to 70 to 20 classes. Depends on the people also. If a lot of people don't know SQL, we might extend that. If they are knowing, we'll go with a good pace. Okay. Then we'll start completely scratch. Now, how you saw from 2 days, I'm explaining only about data. Okay. That was not required, but there are some people who don't know these things. So that's the reason we started from scratch. Okay. The same way we'll start with SQL. We're using MySQL. Now we'll explain what is OLTP, OLAP. So what are different types of things like basics, what are constraints, we'll see data types, we'll see how to do this group aggregations, windows, so everything like store procedure functions. So once we do that, we'll give a one assignment for project. Okay, one assignment will be there where you need to implement end-to-end project. Okay, after teaching, we need to implement that. So once that is done, we'll directly enter into Snowflake. Okay, now Snowflake will again go up to, I would say, 20 to 30 classes. It depends, okay, on the things. It depends how, because we need to add some advanced feature. Also, usually used to go with 20 to 22 classes, but now we are having iceberg tables. So we have added something called as hybrid tables, which act as a OLTP system. We'll talk about that in future. We have added that. It might go up to 20 to 30. You can say this might be a 6 weeks max. Okay. So once we'll get started, we'll see all the features. Okay. Introduction, we'll see about architecture, we'll see about cloud, we'll see warehouses, what are the things, how you manage, what are the different types of tables, then what are the data recovery, how can you do, then loading, unloading things, how you do in the Snowflake, how you do the data governance in Snowflake, how you manage your data, how you implement CDC, how you implement SCD, how you do the store procedures and user-defined functions, how you schedule your tasks in Snowflake. We'll see that. And then advanced, we'll be seeing dynamic tables, event tables. What are these? These are the new features. We'll be seeing that. Okay. Then we'll try to integrate our Git with notebooks and workspace. How you do these things, we'll see. Okay. And we'll have one end-to-end AWS with Snowflake as a project. Okay. After that, we'll
All
be going with the Python.
concepts will be done both by theoretical and practical demonstrations, right, Sagar?
My aim is 80% practical, 80% is practical, and 20% is theory. Okay.
Oh.
Because you need that theory information, then only you're going to build up, right? I believe that the more you have hands-on on practical, then only you will have that confidence. But theory, you need to clear the interview, you need that theory. So we'll be doing it.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. Now, in Python, what we are doing, we'll just get started with basics of Python. Why Python? What are the variables, data types? What are different functions? What are lists, tuple, dictionary? These are the widely used collection. Then we'll see if and if else condition, what are looping, then what are lambda functions, what are list comprehension, how to do exceptional handling. So I forgot to add here pandas. We'll be doing pandas. This is more than enough as a Snowflake developer. These are the things someone asked, right? What are you doing in Python? These are the things we'll do. And this might go up to 10 classes. Okay, daily 1.5 hours. Someone asked, right? Sorry. Okay. So once we finish our Python, then we'll go into Snowflake PySpark, where it might go up to 8 classes, 6 to 8 classes. Okay, because already in pandas we have learned, so it's equivalent to pandas, whatever we'll be doing in pandas. On top of that, how you can use Snowpark, each and everything we are going to explain. Okay, we'll see how to set up your Snowpark, how to write a Python data frame, how to fetch your data from tables and query, how to handle the complex data. Okay, we'll see that also, and we'll see what is lazy evaluation, query pushdown, what are these practices, how to call your user-defined functions and show procedures inside Snowpark. We'll see that. We'll try to implement one end-to-end Snowpark thing from start to end, so that we have that idea. Okay, and after that we'll be going with Matillion. Matillion might go up to 6 to 8 classes. Okay, we'll build various pipelines. Okay, we'll see how to orchestrate your job in Matillion, how to bring data from S3, ADLS, or any SFTP. We'll try to work on that. How to loop, how to implement CD in Matillion. We'll try to see that. These are the things which we are going to see. So once that is done, this will go, then DBT will go up to 10. Okay, we'll learn DBT end to end, how you build your models in DBT, how you do advanced things like SCD, how you do SCD in DBT again, how you implement test cases and documentation, how you do deployment, we'll do that. And then we'll build one Snowflake with DBT project. And then after doing that, at the end, so whatever we'll be discussing, guys, right? Whenever AWS service is required, we'll be teaching that. Okay, we'll be teaching EC2 instance and S3 bucket or any other services like IAM role, whenever required for this particular DBT or Snowflake or Metalian, right? We'll be covering at that time, so that at least some services are covered, and at the end we'll be covering few more services like Lambda functions. We'll be covering Glue, what is AWS Glue, where you will do a big data. EMR will be covering DynamoDB and Redshift. These are the main services which are covering in AWS. Okay.
Yeah, sir. Could we cover from on-premise Oracle database to Snowflake migration?
See, we will be teaching from MySQL, okay, because we are teaching all the syntax or whatever query we are writing, right? We are doing it from MySQL. And if we directly shift to Oracle, right, people might get confused because Oracle in that 20 to 30% of syntax are different. Okay. Now again, people might get confused and they don't know what to do. Okay. We'll see if possible. We'll see to connect Matillion with Oracle and extract data. We'll try to see that if possible. But yeah, mainly we'll be using MySQL.
Yeah, if one because currently I want to show my experience. My all experience in the Oracle. So I want one project from this migration, which is required internally projects as well and outside as well. So that's why I'm asking. So they are required that through the ETL or migration related project they want from Oracle on-premise to Snowflake.
Yeah. The same thing I informed, like what we are doing, whatever the data migration thing we'll be doing with one database, right? It's similar, it is same to all the databases. There is no difference. Okay. We are explaining you the process, we are explaining the foundation. The same thing we'll be doing with Oracle. We'll try to help you to build a project on top of Oracle. We can guide you on that. But for this particular course, we have to see all other candidates also, right? We'll be using my. But for you, particularly for you, or any projects or anything you need to implement, we'll be helping with that.
Okay. So from MySQL to by Matillion, you will cover the project to Snowflake, correct?
Yeah.
Migration. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Let me open. Any doubt, guys? On top of this, like I would like to say, we'll be having placement cells that will be having daily. We'll be having placement cells where they will help you to work on. If you are not getting any calls or anything, they'll try to help you out. They'll help you build your resume. KSR team will help you build your LinkedIn profile. Will be giving dumps or any guidance on certification also, which you want if you want to do. We'll be helping you that. So whatever help you need from us, we'll be doing that apart from teaching. If you have any doubts, please let us know.
Can we get this PPT, sir, the class PPT?
Yeah, by end of today or Monday, you'll be getting that because they are formatting it and they'll be uploading in your pre-classes. Is that right? They'll be uploading.
And like how we can contact the persons like you mentioned for help regarding our resume building and getting calls. How we can contact?
There will be a particular, once you join, there will be a particular group will be added in that particular group. Even I'll be in there in that group. I'll be guiding. If you need any help, we'll be connect and we'll do. And there are separate mentors also there who will be guiding you. And if I will be not able to message or I'll be not able to respond due to timing issues, there will be people who can also respond to you. No worries with that.
Okay, thank you.
You can cover all the topics about the AWS Glue, sir.
Yeah, that's what. Like in 2 weeks, I said, right? I'll be covering whatever related to AWS service. We'll be working completely 2 weeks on that. We'll be working on Lambda, Glue, and EMR mainly.
Sagar, like just for an heads up, like does this training include how to call an external API from Snowflake?
External API, no, we have not implemented that. But yeah, if time permits, I'll try to work on that POC and we'll see if time. But I can't guarantee you. But yeah, if time permits, I'll work. But at this moment, I have not implemented that in particular syllabus.
Thank you.
Sagar, recordings will be shared.
Yep. Recording, access of the recordings will be there for 1 year. It's not the main thing why we are giving only 1 year is we want you to complete the syllabus and get started with your job. So once you get started your job, that is not required. But still, if you require anything, you can request and we can extend that recording. It's for lifetime, but for now we'll be giving us 1 year. So if you want any genuine reasons is there why you want it, we'll extend that one.
Oh.
So, Sagar, will you cover any orchestration tools?
Yeah, Metalian is orchestration tool, right? We can orchestrate our job in Metalian. We'll be covering that.
Oh, Metalian. Okay.
Yeah.
So, what is the course fee and all?
Yeah, sorry. Let me open that. Now, course fees, you can talk to admin, and the course fees is 27,000 if you go for 3 installments, 26K if you go for 2, and 25K if you go for 1 installment. Okay, we can connect with admin, you can connect with Mahesh, or and even you can join this particular group. Okay, I'll be sharing this group. Whoever has not joined, they can join. Okay, let me back to chat. You can join in this particular group and you can connect with your admin. So fees will be this 27K for 3 installment, 26 for 2, and 25 for 1.
Yeah, you can share me the link, okay, so we can join that WhatsApp group.
Yeah, I'll share in the chat. You can see that. Oh, it is direct chat. Okay, let me see all.
No, you're not able to see in this chat box.
Okay, let me see that meeting group. Okay, can you see now?
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. You can join there and you can connect with our admins and we'll have a daily updates there. Also.
Okay.
Any doubt, guys?
Yeah, one more doubt here, right? As you told project, right? For each and every phase, you are going to do one project, right? So for each project, how long it will take? It will 2 days, 3 days, or how
The
many days
projects
you break
usually
down?
will be doing on the weekend. Okay, it might take 3 to 4 hours or 2 to 3 hours. So it depends on the which tool we are using. If you are it's a Snowflake with migration, it might take 2 to 3 years. How well you're grasping it, it depends on that. Okay, if you have doubts, it might extend up to 4 hours. But we will be working projects on the weekends so that you can spend more time on that and we can easily explain each and every. PPT representation, we'll share as a PDF in the particular, I think the group which you have joined as a pre-course, I'll be adding that. Don't worry. Sorry, I missed it. Have 10 years of experience in IT as a manual tester. If I need to learn now, I'll be able to switch. Yeah, definitely we'll be able to switch now since we are starting from scratch, right? You'll be learning SQL and then we'll be going to Snowflake. So each and everything which I'll be teaching, if you follow that, definitely you can switch, and as KSR will also help you in the placements assistance also, where you can easily switch and whatever help you need will be helping. You can easily do that. And there
Could
is
you please share
approximate.
the link again?
Sorry.
Could you please share the link again once again? And also, like, will that PDF will be shared the timesheet, like course
Yeah,
details?
core that will be uploaded in the website. Like you will be joining from now. You guys are joining from website, right? There only will be uploading that. So you'll get access, or else we'll be adding that in the group also. So that's the reason we have asked you to join the group. So since still that formatting is in progress, so we could not share that. By end of today or by Monday, we'll share. Till you have 3 more classes, you can attend total 5 classes as demo. We'll get started with SQL on Monday. You can see the way I teach, and if you are liking the way I represent or you are able to understand what I can teach, then you can join.
Sir, I have 10 years of IT experience, mostly in the production support and application support. So if I want to go for a senior position in the to do this course, will it be helpful for me? Means like in a data engineering field, because that is core coding and development things there. So what suitable profile for me if I will do this course?
Okay. I'll give a disclaimer to all guys. Data engineering is not as easy as data analyst work, because data analyst is the one who directly do the reporting. They just do drag and drop and do. Data engineer, you need a little bit of coding. Okay. Whereas in Azure data engineering, there is more coding is required. Whereas in Snowflake, it's just a SQL. Now, if you're good with SQL, almost 80 to 90% of your work is done. Okay. So I would say you should be very good at SQL if you want to be a good Snowflake or any data engineer. So once you do this particular course, if you are able to follow each and everything what I say, you are implementing all the assignments, you do everything from scratch, you do implement all the projects, you are attending all the classes. I would say you can show up to 4 years of experience, and how much work will be doing that, we can easily sustain that was also new. but you need to put efforts from your side also. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a question here, right? For SQL, as
Mhm.
you told, right? For fully depends on SQL, right? For SQL code, SQL query, right? So now AI tools are available, right? Most of the codes will get in AI tool itself. There's a basic knowledge is enough, right? So and then whatever the request or requirement, you will get a SQL query through AI tools, and then why need to put a more effort, more time to spend for SQL to learn from scratch to complex. So
Okay.
now
So
any tools.
now you're saying, I totally agree. Now this is with respect to your working day-to-day life. Okay. Now you need to clear the interviews, right? In interviews,
Yeah,
they say okay,
yeah.
use AI and solve this particular question.
Yes,
And
yeah, that is
if you don't know the foundation properly, then how you are going to practice?
yeah, that's what I'm telling you. So that basic knowledge is enough, right? Basic knowledge enough. With the help of basic knowledge, we can get it any complex SQL query with the help of AI tools, right?
Yep.
But working is easy, okay. But clearing the interview is a big
Yep.
challenge.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
same question
That
from my end as well, sir. Nowadays, actually, since 1.5 years, I'm working as a Oracle PLSQL developer, and now I am want to move in a. But my total experience is 10 years, and now I am moving to the development side only and looking for Oracle PLSQL developer, giving an interview since 3 months. I'm due to this reason only. I'm not able to crack this because in the real time that interviewer asked to share the screen and write the PLSQL code and the SQL queries. So I'm not much efficient because most of the experience I have done in the production support and application support where very rare need to be write a complex queries and frequently written there in the notepad already which need to be used. So how we can be do this in the data engineering in this thing
okay.
to crack interview?
So for that only we'll be helping you. So after each and every topic which you're doing, we'll be giving assignments, we'll be showing widely asked SQL questions in the particular companies. Okay. You need to practice that. No companies will now, since you are saying you are 10 years of experience guy, and if they ask you write a simple code, and if you're not able to write that, how can as a company they can take it? So the only solution is you have to practice. That's it. For clearing the interviews, whatever you require to practice, will be giving that. Did I answer your question?
Yeah.
Yeah, but actually in the real time, nobody is writing a queries with the scratch, right? Everybody
Yeah.
is get a help of
That I can
AI.
agree. No worry. Yeah, that's what. Like when I'll be teaching, right? There will be a situation where even I'll be stuck. Okay, because not everything will be remembering. We'll be debugging. I'll help you how to debug also. For that, we'll be using AI. I'll showcase how to prompt also. So we can prompt together also, and we can fix that also. So in that way, have some idea how to debug and do those things. We'll be doing that also. But I totally agree.
Yeah. Actually, in the IT industry, working is easy, but clearing the interview is a big challenge.
Yep. Yep. Okay, I have a few questions on the chat. Let me see that. As a 10 years of experience, how much should I put experience while applying the job? See, as I said, right, if you do whatever things which we are teaching, or I'll be teaching, if you do each and everything, you can show up to 4 to 5 years of experience. Now it depends for how well you know the knowledge. If you know have the knowledge completely end to end, you show 4 years. Or if you don't know, at least 3 years you can show if you implement all the things. Okay, what can be the salary range based on the experience of 4 years? Okay, for data engineering current market situation, the salary range is the number of years of experience you are having into 4 to 5. So if you have 4 years of experience, you can expect up to 16 to 20 as a base. Now it depends. If you have multiple offers and you have good negotiation skills, it can go up to 25 to 30 also for 4 years of experience. Okay, it depends, but the generic is 4 to 5x of whatever the years of experience you have. Okay, daily, how much practice is required? Now, if I'm teaching 1 year, 1 hour of teaching, you need to put 1 hour of effort from your side. That's it, not much. Consistency is main. Okay, how much? X answered this. PPT will be sharing. Okay, approximate time frame. MySQL 1 month, Snowflake 1.5 months, Python 2 weeks, Snowpark 2 weeks, Metalian 2 weeks, DBT 2 weeks, and AWS AWS is also 2 weeks. You can consider this. Yeah, exactly.
Hi, sir. I have one more question here.
Yep.
Yeah, same thing. The guys told me. So even I have 12 years experience. So in that, so initially I was in SQL developer, then SQL. Analyst also I work BI tools and SSIS tools. Okay, now the team present. No, so I'm put on data engineers. So the team. So basically they are doing some orchestrations. The tools they are using like. We want to do some kind of automations. We need to pull the data and we need to build like CSID tools, and we need to do orchestration tools like Airflow for the running the jobs. Kind of the scenario like that in my current job. So, what is the best course can I take? So whether this can going to help for next level, or can you could advise?
Okay, we are not covering Airflow in this particular batch. So Airflow is again an orchestration tool where you need to write a Python code end to end. Okay, so Airflow goes best when you are doing a lot of things on the on-prem system. Okay, so whereas in AWS, if you go with Airflow, it's a very hectic cost. So if you just click and run a service of Airflow in AWS, even if you're running for 1 minute, you need to pay for 1 day. Okay, it's not as easy as that. So that's the reason we are not going with Airflow. But whatever things as a orchestration you need to know, the foundation knowledge you need. So what you do in the orchestration, we'll be teaching that. Now, once you have a knowledge on one tool, you can easily work. If there are any other tools also, it's not will be much difficult for you to learn. Okay, but for your question, what I can say, whatever the current tech stack we are coming up with now, Snowflake with Metalian and DBT, that's a very good tech stack we can go and the current market has. Did I answer your question?
Yes, I got it.
Yes, Sagar, I have one query. So could you share the domains or industry this project will be based on?
I'm still building that project, but it will be mainly whatever the data will be having in Snowflake, right? In market space, we'll be having data. Okay, they'll be sharing this data and we'll be fetching that data. So one will be mainly on the transaction side. Another DBT, it will be only on the e-commerce side, I would say.
Got it. Thank you.
Yeah, one more. Sankar, where can I get this recorded section if I want to watch again on this video?
The first 5 sessions will be uploaded on YouTube, our YouTube channel also. But once since you log into our 5-day free session, you can go to our website KSR Datavision. You can log in, and there are 5 free sessions. First 5 sessions, free sessions are free. You can go and access.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
If you want.
Where can I
Daily
get
notes
that?
or sharing. Yeah, whatever the notes you require for particular, whatever I prepare to teach you, right? I'll share those notes. Yep. Yes, guys.
Yeah, actually, yeah, Snowflake is, lighting Snowflake with Azure is better or AWS is better. Actually, previously it's with Azure, right? So, how guys are shifted from Azure to AWS? Is there any particular
No,
reason?
no, no. See, Snowflake is just a processing tool. Okay, it doesn't have any storage. To have that storage, it depends on this cloud. It either go with Azure, it go with AWS, it go with GCP. Now, as a company, it depends which cloud you are using. Okay, if you are using Azure as a main tech stack, in the backend to store all the data, use Snowflake with Azure. If your company is mainly using AWS, it will use AWS with Azure or AWS with Snowflake. Okay, but once you have in the backend you are having AWS with Snowflake, you think, and if you want to connect with again with Azure, you can do that also.
Okay. So, where can I see? Lot of opportunities having Azure or AWS. Just I want to know.
I would say 60 to 70% are on AWS side and around 30 to 40% on Azure.
Okay, fine. Thank you.
Any route guys?
Yeah, I have one question here. So while creating a Snowflake free account, right? So yeah, any one of the cloud we can select, right, for
Yep,
AWS, Azure,
yep,
GCP, right? Okay,
yep.
so if we select AWS, so we are only applicable to access the data, store the data only for AWS, or we
No.
can
The thing is, whenever you create a storage location, right? It is not like you are not going to have that access. You are making use of that storage location. So whatever the table, database, schemas, whatever you're building, right? That metadata information need to store somewhere. That is being Snowflake is using that location. You will be not having direct access to that. Okay. If you want to connect to external again cloud, you need to build a piece of code, just as integration you have to do, and you need to connect.
Okay, so while creating a Snowflake account and then we are selecting any one of the cloud, so that time the AWS or AWS account is not required for us, right?
No, at that time not. It's not.
Okay, but we without having a without don't have account, how we can connect to the AWS and Snowflake?
That's what I said, right? In backend, Snowflake itself creates that account for you. Okay, it is creating all by itself, managing by itself for maintaining the information, whatever you're doing in the Snowflake. Now, if you have data in AWS, you need to bring separate data, external data to Snowflake. At that time, you need a account, this Azure account, AWS account, or GCP account where data is there. At that time, you need those.
Okay. So while interacting with the Snowflake, it don't require
No, to create
any
a Snowflake
account.
account, you just need to select any location. In backend, Snowflake itself internally create your all the required compute or storage, whatever required for your Snowflake. They create and they maintain that. That is free for 30 days. And again, after 30 days, you can create another account in Snowflake.
Okay. Yeah, okay, it's fine. But so can you do activity through reading data from the AWS
Yeah, we'll be doing
S3
that.
bucket from S3
We
bucket?
will be doing that. We'll be
So
doing
don't
data
take
loading,
any
how to,
account.
yeah,
Okay.
how to integrate with S3. In project also, we need to do that, right? We'll be definitely doing that.
So in Snowflake itself, we can going to create S3 bucket in AWS.
No, you need to have a separate AWS account. First, you need to create an account. You need to have a bucket, and there you have data. Now, to bring that data, you need to write a piece of code, simple code, and to connect from Snowflake to that particular account.
Yeah. I got it. But yeah, while creating actually that is Snowflake is then a cloud-based data warehousing is a built on top of a cloud platform, right? Is there anyone AWS or Azure or GCP, right? So okay, so while creating an account for any one of the cloud, we need to choose. After choosing that, Snowflake account will be created for me. It's right. And then we want to do we want to do activity. We want to do activity. We need to read data from the AWS whichever we choosing a platform, right? AWS or Azure. So for that also AWS account is required, or without account also we can read and write the data from AWS to Snowflake to AWS.
See, that's what I said, right? I'll simplify it with you. To create a Snowflake account, to practice, you don't need any cloud. Okay, just
Okay.
log in,
Okay.
have
Yeah,
that,
that's
write your
fine.
piece
Okay.
of code, everything is done. But
Okay.
you need to bring a data. For that, you need another account, right?
Yeah, but it's already with the help of
You
Snowflake.
don't
We
have
can
access to that account. Whatever the account you are using is that is internally managed by Snowflake.
Okay. Okay.
It's not in your name. They create their own IDs to have that access for your particular ID. Whenever you create a Snowflake, there are IDs generated for your particular
Okay.
profile. For
Okay.
that ID, that account is created. You don't have access directly to it.
What is the purpose of to create that account for internally? So
Snowflake
actually,
doesn't have anything to for the storage purpose. Okay, it depends on some cloud. Okay, it says on top of any other cloud, I'll make use of that storage resource, and I'll just give you a compute where I can give you a compute power to work on that. So to
yeah,
maintaining all my
yes,
information,
yeah,
everything about what I do,
yes,
I need some storage. So
yeah,
that's the reason.
yes, I do agree that one. Okay, for that only we have to create a separate account, right? Separate AWS account or GCP account, right? Then why need to choose the while creating account with any one of the cloud? So if you are not using that
No, we
cloud.
are not using. I'm saying we are not using that cloud. But
Okay.
Snowflake in the backend needs some storage location, right? It says give me some storage. In your
Okay.
laptop, for example, you don't have that
It's
storage.
like a
You
RAM
need to store something, but you don't
processing
have that.
data. Okay.
Yeah, you need to store something, right? So that's
Okay.
the reason
Okay.
Snowflake says where I need to save your information about your role, what about all your tables, where I need to store. It is asking to provide that information.
Okay. Okay. And then if you want to process the data, and then we need to store the data in cloud platform AWS. So AWS also we need to give a price for that, and then Snowflake also we need to give.
AWS
Both.
is 1 year free, so storage is free for
No,
1 year.
no. Yeah. That's I know. Actually, my question is, so actually we are
Yeah.
using
Oh,
AWS and
there you're
Snowflake.
saying, okay,
Price,
we'll
yeah,
discuss this
price.
everything in class, don't worry. So
Okay.
if you are having data in external location, you are storing there. At that time, you'll be paying for AWS. You will not be paying for Snowflake. You are keeping all
Yeah.
your data in Snowflake. At that time, you'll be paying for Snowflake. And in the backend, Snowflake will be paying for AWS after keeping their share.
Okay.
Okay, don't worry, we'll discuss everything and we'll start.
Sir, could we create an account of Snowflake without any storage help from the any of the cloud for the practice purpose? Is any
No.
internal already a data or tables have which through we can do the practice?
No, you don't need to create external account. So whenever you will see that when we start Snowflake, right? How to create an account. So whenever you log in, right? It's like how you log in any website. They ask you information, right? Your what is your first name, last name, email. In that way, you're giving you information. You say this particular cloud you use to maintain my metadata. So you are not creating your own AWS service or Azure service or anything. You're just creating Snowflake service. So you need Snowflake will use that particular service to write and store all the information, and we'll be just doing coding in Snowflake.
Fine, thank you.
Okay, I see something in a chart. What is a prerequisite of laptop? For laptop, I would say at least 8 GB of RAM you need to have, and i5 configuration is more than enough for installing MySQL. And all other things will be doing on cloud, so that would not require much power. Any other doubt, guys?
Sagar.
Hello, sir. Sunil here.
Yeah.
I just joined late. So, is this course covers Snowflake admin or Snowflake data engineer?
I would say almost 80 to 85% will be on developer. So admin side will be seeing what is RBAC, how you do role-based access control, how you do data masking, how you do give access for particular objects in Snowflake will be doing that. But most of the things will be done as a data engineer developer.
Okay. So, how many days it will take to complete this course?
4 to 4.5 months.
Okay.
Any doubt, guys?
Hello, Sagar.
Yep.
Yeah, my question is like after the completion of this course, it will be helpful for clearing interviews, or we can directly start working as a data engineer role once we get into the company?
Both, because we'll be doing a lot of assignments, right? Once you clear an interview, you have to work only in the company. So we'll make sure in such a way that all the tasks we'll be doing will be almost real time. Okay. I can't bring the real time data and I can show you, but I'll showcasing you the process, what in the real time will be happening, and you can implement that in your real time work also.
Okay, it will be the same like what you teach.
Yep. Whatever I have learned in past 5 years, I'll be teaching in that 4 to 4.5. Did I answer your question?
So any prerequisite for this one means Python knowledge or SQL?
No, we'll be starting
Not
from
required.
scratch. I think you joined late. You can go through recordings, and even we'll be sending the syllabus. We'll be starting from SQL, then we'll do Snowflake, then we'll do Python, then Snowpark, Metalian, DBT, then AWS. You can go to the recordings. I've explained everything. And even the syllabus will be sharing the WhatsApp group. You can join that WhatsApp group.
Sagar, for SQL, what level you are going to take care of PLSQL procedure triggers and all level, or is basic level?
Yep. So because you need, if it was a Databricks or any other things, the PLSQL was not much importance. But for this Snowflake and all, you need store procedure, how to write a store procedure and all. So we'll be taking care of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a 10 days it's required, right? For this SQL?
SQL will go up to 20 days because there are a lot of people who don't know SQL also. So we need to we need to build a foundation for them also, right?
Okay.
We'll be starting completely scratch. We'll be starting what is database.
Okay.
To explain that also only will take one. Don't worry.
So are you specifically in any database like MySQL or something? SQL?
MySQL. We'll be working mainly on with the MySQL.
MySQL only, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Hi, Sagar. One more question here. So I have a corporate laptop. I don't have a personal laptop. Which one should I mean, will you recommend for personal laptop to work on?
I would say, see, I don't know. In corporate laptops, there will be a lot of compliance issues, right? They might not allow you to install any software. If they are allowing, then make use of that, no worries, because everything will be doing on cloud. Only you need to install two things. One is MySQL or VS Code. When we'll be working with Python, we'll be doing with VS Code. These are the only things you need to install. Apart from that, everything will be on cloud.
Yeah, VS Code is fine for, I don't think again, so if I want to install again, I need to get VP level approval, and then what is the justifications for that? If you install
for MySQL, if they are allowing you to do, then that's fine.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
But make sure that in your company they are not restricted access, because some company they restrict access to accessing the websites also. So make sure that you have access to all those.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, I have a question. So you mentioned that you will cover DBT as well. So how deep are we going to go, and like how many days should we think at the end we'll have for DBT?
See, DBT doesn't have so much features. Okay? It all depends on Snowflake. So around 10 classes we'll be doing on DBT, where we'll be doing each and every things. We'll be implementing even SCDs in DBT. We'll be seeing what are macros, that are functions we'll be writing. We'll be seeing what are models. So whatever is required as a Snowflake data engineer, that till that extent will be explained. So that once you go and you're given work in DBT also, you need to work on that, right? We'll make sure that everything is covered.
Oh, and one more thing you mentioned, I saw that thing you have Metalion also. So will you be covering Metalion also?
Yeah, because some student they came and asked, we need something knowledge on ETL and orchestration part. So we have added Metalion. So we'll give an idea. Metalion will be around 5 to 8 classes, I would say. So we'll say how to extract data from on-prem. We'll build up pipelines, how you do transformation, how to do orchestration and all. We'll see that in Metalion.
Okay. So you say, and the classes are going to be Monday to Friday, or it's a weekend course?
It is Monday to Friday, morning 7 to 8:30 p.m. IST, and some at the start would be only on weekdays. But when we come nearby 4, because we need to complete by 4 to 4.5 months, right? We don't want you to keep on waiting. So if there are any classes required that need to be taken on weekends, also will be taken based on the
and recordings will actually. I missed some part. So after this meeting, if you can share in the group where you explain all the program that.
Yeah,
and
like
recordings will be available
you can
as
see
well, right?
in the YouTube channel, so we'll upload that, and even if in the website you can go after this class, you'll be having access to that. You can go and check the website.
Okay, thank you. And recordings will be available if you miss some class, right?
Yeah, 1 year you'll be having recordings, and in future also, if we need, we'll give access.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any doubt, guys? Can we end the session with no doubts?
No. Yes.
Sure. Thank you for attending. Do attend on Monday. We'll start with SQL. Okay. Have a nice weekend.